Notts County are killing it in real life as right now they are top of the league in League 2. And so many of you lot have wanted me to do Notts County for a while, so guess what? That's exactly what we're going to do. I'm taking charge of Notts County for 10 seasons. I'm going to climb the ladder of English football with them and try to win as many trophies as possible. And in FC 24 takeovers, we've got 2 wheels to go through, but I'll get to that a little bit later. So we are officially in season 1 of the first ever FC 24 takeover. And looking at this Notts County team, I genuinely cannot wait to see what we can do with it. Surprisingly, they've only got 2 players on loan to them, which for me is absolutely brilliant. But as you can see, majority of their team is getting on a bit, so that's something we're definitely going to have to consider going forward. But they do have some pretty solid players like Daniel Crowley, right winger Aaron Nemain, and of course Macaulay Langstaff, who if I'm not mistaken got 41 goals and 41 appearances last season, which is absolutely mental. So all in all, boys, I think this Notts County team is pretty damn decent. And of course, we'll be keeping track of our top goal scorer, top assister, and how many trophies we've won throughout this takeover. But before we do anything else, I want to set up our tactical vision. Now, so far, I've been leaning towards using counter-attack, but for this one, I want to change it up a bit. I want a bit of Barca in this Notts County team. I want them to be playing tiki-taka football. But as you can see, we've only got 5 open positions for coaches, and the only one that's available for tiki-taka is Dexter Rowland, and as you can see, he's definitely not the best coach in the world. And the game still crashes when you decide to sack a coach, so I'm not going to bring any in just yet because I just don't want any bad coaches in this team. Well, the good news is our budget is 2 million in season 1, and honestly, for a League 2 side, that is pretty damn decent. But boys, I'm not going to keep this formation. I will be keeping the 3 at the back. I'm just not going to keep this one in particular. I want to use the 3-5-2 formation. I might be very wrong in saying this, but I think this formation is really suited to that tiki-taka style of play. And with a little meddling around, this is our strongest starting 11, and honestly, I'd argue we could get promotion in season 1 if that wheel does go our way. Now, obviously, we've got 2 wheels for every takeover this year, so let me just explain to you how it all works. Now, the first wheel is just like last year. It dictates how many transfers we're allowed or whether we've got to release a player. But once we get to the Prem, we're sacking the transfer wheel off and introducing the takeover wheel, which basically will give us a multitude of different options, some that could really help us and some that could get us relegated. But like I've just said, that one gets introduced once we reach the Premier League, so we don't have to worry about that one just yet. Now, as for the starting 11 and where to improve it, there's only one area of this pitch I really want to focus on. We just need better defenders, and once we sort these positions out, I think we've got an exceptionally strong chance of promotion this year. And with 2 million in the bank, the budget isn't going to be our issue. It's going to be that bloody transfer wheel. So without further ado, the first spin of the transfer wheel in FC 24, and it's going to be the best one we can get. 3 transfers to make in season 1. I don't think we're going to be able to afford 3 transfers, but the option is there. And as I've said, all I want to do is bring in some centre backs, so that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to start with Blackpool's Ollie Casey. He's only 22 years old, but he's 64 overall, and the best part is he's only got 12 months left on his contract. And we've just made our first official FC 24 takeover signing by bringing in Blackpool defender Casey for a measly 700,000. But we aren't done there, so I want to bring in MK Dons defender Jack Turner, who's only 23 years old himself and 64 overall. I think we are definitely going to have a very strong defence by the end of this transfer window. And I think we've got an absolute bargain, spending just over $500,000 to bring him to Notts County. And we've still got just under $1 million left in our budget, meaning we can actually bring in 3 players this year. Now, I was going to bring a better keeper in than Aidan Stone. He's only 62 overall, but he's still very young for a keeper, so I think it'd be a little bit too premature to bring in a keeper this early. Instead, I'm going to bring in a 3rd and final centre-back to complete this defence. And that's why my final signing is going to be Will Forrester from Bolton. He's 22 years old and already 64 overall. This guy's going to be a beast for us. And we have secured him on a 5-year deal for 730,000, and that's our final signing of this transfer window. And I did send these players out on loan because whilst they won't get game time here, they'll probably get game time somewhere else. But this is the starting 11 headed into season 1, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with how this team looks right now. The only real weakness is our 62 rated keeper, but he's only 23 years old. I'm banking on the fact that he'll go up this year quite a lot. But we do have McGoldrick, who's 35 years old, man, but I couldn't get rid of this guy. He's too much of a legend. Now, in real life, Notts County have set the standard quite high because they are right now top of League 2. But whether this team's strong enough to replicate what they're doing in real life is a different story. We're going to have to wait until the end of season 1 to find out. But whilst we're simulating through season 1, if you wouldn't mind dropping this video a like and hitting that subscribe button, that would be incredible. So as you can see, boys, we're halfway through May. The season is complete, so let's see how we did in League 2. It's a repeat of last year between Wrexham and Notts County. Wrexham finished first and Notts County finished second. We have been promoted, but we didn't win League 2. And we actually made it to the quarter-finals of the Papa John's Trophy, which is now known in FC24 as the EFL Trophy. Now, this is one trophy I definitely want to win in this takeover. We made it to round 2 of the FA Cup before getting beaten by Harrogate. And we lost to Blackburn in round 1 of the Carabao Cup. Honestly, until we get somewhere decent in these competitions, I don't even think I'm going to bother showing you lot. But I've got to say, boys, looking at the team, I'm not surprised we got promoted. We have come on leaps and bounds this year. And Langstaff brought his Conference League form into League 2 as he bagged 21 goals and 9 assists in 54 games this year. I genuinely wasn't expecting to do this well this early. Obviously, in real life, Notts County are killing it, but that very rarely translates into the game. But we are now in League 1, which means tougher competition, and now more than ever, we need that wheel to be on our side. And the overall stats so far, Langstaff is both our top goal scorer and assister, and whilst we did get promoted to League 1, we have not won any trophies yet. We're going to start Season 2 by spinning the wheel. Last season, we had 3 transfers. This year, we ain't so lucky, man. Only 1 transfer to make in League 1. That could either prove really good or really goddamn bad. But to be fair, looking at the team, I think there's one area of this pitch that we do need to focus on. And no, I'm not getting a better striker for McGoldrick, although I do probably need to renew that guy's contract so he doesn't leave us halfway through the season. I'm bringing a better midfielder in than Bostock. He's 64 rated, one of the weakest links in this team, and he's also 32 years old. I think once we do this, we'll have a much better chance of doing well in League 1. And with 6 million in the budget this year, we can go all out on bringing in one exceptionally good defensive midfielder. Now for this position, we're spoiled for choice. We could go for Tim Irogbunum, who's only 21 years old and 69 rated. We could go for Han Noah Masenga, who's only 22 years old and 73 rated. Or we could go for Lewis Travis, who's 26 years old and 74 rated. They're all fantastic choices, but I think it's obvious who I'm going to go for. And if you guess Lewis Travis, you are absolutely spot on, as we've spent a whopping £5 million to bring him to Notts County. And boys, after renewing everybody's contracts, we are almost bankrupt. £34 is left in our budget, man. It's safe to say that's our transfer window done. But the team does now look like they're heading into Season 2, and I am honestly gassed with how good this team has become so far. Obviously, Travis is by a mile the best player in the team right now, but I'm hoping some of his quality will rub off on some of the other players. And don't get it twisted, I know we aren't getting promoted anytime soon. All I want from this team is growth in abundance, and if we can do that and survive League 1, I'll be pretty happy with that. So boys, we're at the start of June. The season is once again complete, so let's go see how we did in League 1. We finished in a very respectable 13th place in the league, man. Mid-table for a promoted team to League 1 isn't bad at all. I'm curious though, where are Wrexham? Oh my god, well we did better than Wrexham because they're straight back down to League 2. But we only made it to round 3 of the Papa John's Trophy. On God, why is this trophy more difficult to win than the Premier League and Champions League freaking combined? But in fairness, when you look at the improvements in the team, I reckon one more season in League 1 and we'll be ready to challenge for promotion. And is it any surprise that Langstaff's our top goal scorer with 22 goals and 5 assists in 55 games? I said at the start of Season 2 I'd like us to survive League 1 and the team to massively improve, and to be fair, that is exactly what this Notts County team has done. But next year we need that wheel to be on our side, because if we do want to do well next year, we need more than one bloody transfer. And the overall stats for the end of Season 2, Langstaff is our top goal scorer with Daniel Crowley now being our top assister, but we still yet to win a single trophy. So we're now into Season 3 of the Takeover, and I've finally added some coaches to the coach management system. I'm hoping that this will actually help the players to grow a bit more this year. But when you look at the team, it's obvious that there's one area that is screaming for an improvement. As much as David McGoldrick is a legend, he's 62 rated now, and he's just not good enough for what we need up top alongside Langstaff. And we need a better midfielder than Palmer and a better keeper than Stone, because aside from McGoldrick, those two are the weakest parts of the team. Once we sort those positions out, we stand a half-decent chance of making the playoffs this time. And the budget remains at 6 million, so we've definitely got the money to work with. We just need that wheel to be on our side once again. Last year, we could only make one transfer. What's the wheel going to give us this time? You have got to be kidding me. One transfer again. This wheel has been an absolute douchebag this time, ain't it? Now this obviously means we're going to bring a better striker in than McGoldrick, and to be honest, we are once again spoiled for choice. We've got Santiago Castro, who's 20 years old and 71 rated. We've got Kofi Johnson, who's 20 years old and 72 rated. And we've got Tyrese Campbell, who's 25 years old and 73 rated. Once again, all solid options, but I think I've made my decision on who I'm bringing in. And if your guess was Tyrese Campbell, you were absolutely wrong, as I went for Santiago Castro, who cost us was 4.25 million. And I bet some of you are thinking, why didn't I go for Tyrese Campbell? He's by a mile the better player. Well, Santiago Cruz is 5 years younger than Tyrese Campbell and he's only 2 ratings below him, so I reckon by the end of this season he'll actually become a better player than Tyrese Campbell. But with that, our transfer window is officially done, with the team now looking like this heading into season 3, and honestly I'm really liking how this team's shaping up now. We've got a very solid front two. All we need is a better midfielder and goalkeeper, and this team is golden. Now obviously I did want to push for the playoffs this year, but with us only having 1 transfer, that's a little bit unrealistic. But we have bolstered our striker partnership with the addition of Castro, so I am hoping to get a better finish than we did last year. So boys, season 3 is done and dusted, and you are not going to believe this. We're in the playoffs alongside Charlton, Peterborough and Barnsley. And we were only 5 points away from automatic promotion, man. I don't know how we've managed to do this because the team is nowhere near ready for this yet. And we just made it past Barnsley in the semis, and we are playing Charlton Athletic in the final. It's their standard play versus our tick-attacker football. Charlton versus Notts County, Wembley. Who is going to get promoted? It's not us. Okay, that is slightly disappointing. We were this close away from winning our first trophy, I've just realised. Oh, maybe next year, boys, but 3 seasons in and we are still trophyless. We also got to the Papa John's Trophy final to lose 1-0 to Reading, man. You just can't write this season. That wheel needs to be on our side next year because just a couple of signings, we're definitely going to get promoted to the Championship. And Langstaff, for the 3rd season run, is our top goal scorer with 29 goals and 5 assists in 58 games. And I told you, boys, Santiago Castro is a special talent. 76 overall, 5 overall growth this year. I bet he's better than Tyrese Campbell now. We were this close this year not only to get promotion, but to win that Papa John's Trophy. I genuinely don't know which one I'm more gutted about losing. All jokes aside though, we absolutely need promotion to the Championship next year. Otherwise, we'll almost be halfway through this takeover and we won't even be close to getting to the Premier League yet. And the overall stats at the end of season 3, Langstaff and Crowley are still both our top goal scorer and assister, but we've still yet to win a single trophy. We are starting season 4 with a spin of this wheel. Oh my god, our luck's about to change. It's been terrible as of late, but we've got 3 transfers to make in season 4. And luckily, there are 3 positions that are absolutely dying for improvement. We certainly need a better keeper than Stone. He's absolutely the reason that we aren't doing well right now. He's definitely holding us back. We also need a better midfielder to partner up with Travis in that midfield. And if we can afford it, we need a better winger than Jones, but I'm not too fussed if we can't bring a winger in and we just focus on bringing in a better midfielder and a better keeper. But there is 7 million in the budget, so to be fair, we could probably get away with 3 signings this season. And starting with the keeper, I'm going for 72 rated Stefan Bajic from Bristol City. He will be miles better than Stone. And for a measly £2 million, we've signed in from Bristol City on a 3-year contract. And for the midfielder, I'm going for Yasin Ayari from Brighton, who's 72 rated and only 22 years old. I can see this guy being an absolute beast for us. And due to the fact his contract was running out, we got an absolute bargain, only spending 3.7 million on him. So we've now finally got a better keeper and a better midfielder, and honestly, I am so goddamn relieved that we've been able to do that. Now, I found Randall on the subs bench, who is a little bit better than Jones's, but I'd still like a better winger. But we've only got 1 mil in our budget left, so if we are going to bring in a winger, there's only one way we're going to do it. It's time to delve on the free agents list for the first time to see what it's got to offer. Now, Yannick Carrasco is an available free agent, but I feel like for League One, it's a little bit unrealistic. And I've also found Adam Karabek, who's 22 years old and 77 rated, but again, he's a little bit too good for League One. But Alex Martin definitely makes sense. He's 24 years old, 71 rated. I definitely feel like this is the perfect player for the job. And now the team looks like this heading into season 4, now that the transfer window is officially done. And there's not a single player in this starting 11 that isn't under 70 rated, man. We've definitely got to get promoted this year. Honestly, boys, anything other than promotion this year, I will consider a massive failure. So, boys, we've just arrived at the start of June, and here's hoping that we are finally out of League One. Oh, we've friggin' done it, boys. We're second in the league. We are finally in the Championship. I mean, we didn't win League One. That's really annoying. Plymouth Argyle beat us 2 by 1 point, but honestly, the bigger picture is we're finally out of League One. But we still didn't win the Papa John's trophies. Cheltenham beat us in round 3, and it is still officially the most difficult trophy to win, including the Premier League and the Champions League. But we've gone on to win the FA Cup, beating Norwich 2-0 in the final. How is our first trophy in this takeover the pissing FA Cup? Who did we actually play? Okay, we got Sheffield United in the semis. We got West Ham, who beat them on penalties, fair. We got West Brom in round 5. who has Swansea in round 4. So it's actually a pretty easy... Oh my god, we beat bloody Arsenal in round 3. Okay, take it back. It wasn't easy. Don't get me wrong, this team's good enough to win trophies, but the FA Cup, I did not see that coming. And Langstaff, once again, 34 goals and 14 assists in 62 games. This guy's an absolute monster. Well, boys, we've finally done it. We've won our first trophy as well this season with the FA Cup. And that, I'll say it again, I did not see that coming. And having seen the team, I reckon if that wheel's on our side once again, not only can we survive the championship, we can damn well thrive in it. And the overall stats at the end of season 4, Langstaff is both our top goal scorer and assist now, and we finally won a trophy with Notts County. So we're now halfway through the takeover with Notts County, and as you can see, I'm finally starting to fill up these vacancies in the coaching system. And we're finally in the championship with Notts County, but believe me, I ain't staying here for long. And just look at the team, man. I reckon even if we had no transfers this year, we'd do pretty well this year, maybe even get in a playoff position. But we certainly could do with brushing up on this defence, maybe a new winger, a cam. There's still a lot of improvement that needs to be made. And money's no option as we've got 13 million to spend. The only thing standing in our way of success this year is potentially that transfer wheel. As long as we stay away from releasing our best player, I'm actually happy. Is that 2 or is that 3? Please be 3. Oh, come on. 2 transfers for season 5. It's still better than 1, but we could have done with 3 ideally. Now, to be honest, I'm happy leaving our cam and winger alone because we've got Langstaff, Castro, Maitan. We've got goal scorers in the team. Instead, I want to focus on this defence because as we've already seen, once we strengthen up our defence and goalkeeper positions up, we do pretty well. And starting the transfer window, I'm signing Bashir Humphreys from Crystal Palace. He's 73 rated at only 24 years old. I think he could be pretty good for us this season. And to be fair, we negotiated a fantastic deal with Roy Hodgson as we only had to spend 4.2 million on him. And for the second and final transfer of this window, we're robbing yet another Palace player, Alan Maturo, who's 22 years old but 75 rated. And the best part, he has got 12 months left on his contract. But even with that contract running out, we still had to fork out 7.9 million. This guy wasn't cheap at all. And after renewing everybody's contracts, we've literally got no money left. £5 in the budget, man. If you can get it lower than that, I'll be very impressed. But this is the team heading into season 5, and honestly, boys, I reckon we've got a very good shot at promotion this year. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we'll get automatic promotion, but the playoffs are definitely possible with the strength in this squad. With the likes of Badgett, who's 77 rated, our absolute goal machine Langstaff, who's 76 rated, and finally Castro, who's 81 rated. Give me one good reason right now why this team can't make the playoffs. Now, this is so bizarre. I've just realised because we won the FA Cup, we're in the Europa League in Group B alongside Lazio, LASK, and Mulder FK. I was sailing through the calendar, saw a fixture against Lazio, and I completely forgot that the FA Cup gives you European football. I mean, it would be amazing if we actually won the Europa League, but there's no way in hell we've got a chance of it. So, boys, we are at the end of our 5th season in charge of Notts County, and we are in the playoffs alongside Leeds United, Middlesbrough, and Luton Town. I'd be absolutely lying if I said I was surprised. This team is too damn good to be in the championship. And we smashed Middlesbrough in the semi-finals, and we're playing Leeds United in the playoff final. It's tiki-taka versus gegenpress. In the last playoff final we were in, we lost. I can't remember who it was to now, but the team is looking pretty decent. Wembley, who's coming through to... Oh my god, we've done it! We are finally in the Premier League. It's only taken us 5 seasons to do it. But boys, Notts County are finally in the Premier League. And we only lost 1-0 to Man City in the FA Community Shield final. This is one trophy I completely forgot we were in. But the Europa League's the one we want to know how we've done in, so let's go to that competition. How the hell have we top Group B, man? This Notts County team's crap. Battered Real Sociedad 4-1 in the round of 16. Nah, there's no way we're winning this competition. And we beat Rangers in the quarterfinals on penalties 4-3. No way we've won this competition. That's more like it. Fiorentina beat us 2-1 in the semi. To be fair, boys, look who's in the final, man. Real Madrid. There's no way in hell we were ever going to get past them, even if we beat Fiorentina. But boys, this team is finally in the Premier League, man. I cannot believe it's taken us 5 seasons, but you know what? Better late than never. And for the 5th season in a row, Langstaff is our top goal scorer. 31 goals and 11 assists in 65 games, man. This guy is actually a goal machine. 17. I'm buzzing, man. We're promoted. We got another trophy in the cabinet, and we did pretty sick in Europe, man. We really couldn't have asked for a better season. But we're saying hello to two things next year. We're saying hello to the Premier League, the toughest league in the world, and also to the next wheel that we got to spin, because we're saying goodbye to the transfer wheel. And let me tell you, the next 5 seasons with Notts County are going to be very interesting to say the least. And the overall stats for halfway through this takeover, Langstaff is both our top goal scorer and assist, and we've now got 2 trophies in that cabinet. So we're now in season 6 with Notts County, and we are finally in the Premier League. It's taken us long enough, hasn't it? But looking at the starting 11, it's definitely not strong enough to keep us there. But the budget this year is ridiculous. 55 million to spend. That is by a mile the biggest budget we've ever had. But because we're now in the Premier League, we're not using the transfer wheel anymore. We're using the takeover wheel. So let's go to it to see what it's all about. Now, the only rule with this, we can make as many signings as we want unless whatever we land on tells us not to. But the difference is this wheel could give us a fantastic season, or it could literally get us relegated with the options on here. So the first spin of the takeover wheel in FC24, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Max potential. What's max potential? Make a player of your choice's potential 99. That is absolutely fantastic. That means that we can change the potential to any one of these players to 99. That is absolutely incredible. Now, the obvious choice is Santiago Castro, but he's already 85 rated at 23 years old. I don't think he needs it. And we could use this on Yasin Ayari, but again, he's 79 rated and 24 years old. He doesn't need it either. I'm going to use this on Alex Martin. He's 26 years old. He's 78 rated, and it would sort our left winger out for the remainder of this takeover. And we still have 55 million to spend even after spinning that wheel, which means we can spend all of that money on as many players as we want. And looking at this starting 11, there are a couple of positions that we could do with improving. We need better centre-backs, we need a right winger, and we definitely need a new cam. But with 55 million, we're not going to sort all those positions out straight away, so we're going to have to choose the ones that we want to improve the most. So I'm going to put all that money into bringing in better defenders, because I think that that's going to be key to us doing pretty well this year. And the first defender we're bringing in is Cameron Carter-Vickers from RC Lens. He's 82 rated at 30 years old. He will massively improve the defensive lineup. And because he only had 12 months left on his contract, we only had to spend 19.5 million to bring him to Notts County. And for the second and final transfer of this window, I'm going for Patrick Ahmed, who's 23 years old and 80 rated. Now, this guy is a defender for the future. And for 22.5 million, we have officially signed him up on a 5-year contract. And now the team looks like this heading into our first season in the Premier. And honestly, I reckon we definitely hold our own this year. We won't be doing anything spectacular like getting European football or a top 10 finish, but I reckon we may just get a mid-table finish. So boys, as you can see, we're at the end of May and our first season in the Prem is complete. So let's see if I was right and see if we got a mid-table finish. You know what? I'll take it. 13th in the league is basically mid-table. But we only made it to round 3 of the FA Cup before getting knocked out by Arsenal. And we made it to the quarters of the Carabao Cup before getting knocked out by Newcastle. I reckon we'll win another domestic cup in the next couple of seasons, you know. And I reckon next year, if we can get that wheel on our side once again, we are looking at European football. And for the first time in the takeover, Langstaff isn't our top goal scorer. Castro is with 23 goals in 44 games. That isn't bad at all. And Alex Martin, who's got 99 potential, is now 83 rating with a 5 overall growth this year. We got so lucky with that from the wheel. It's been a fantastic start to our life in the Premier League. 13th in the league, a decent result in the Carabao Cup, and all in all, we survived. That's the one thing we should be happy about. But like I said, boys, with the team looking like this, all we need is that wheel on our side, and we've probably got a good chance of European football next year. And the overall stats at the end of season 6, Langstaff is still our top goal scorer and assister, and we've still only got 2 trophies won so far. We're going to start season 7 by spinning the wheel. The first spin was incredible. There's no way. What? Hang on, what's +5? Okay. Increase the player of your choice's rating by +5. Oh my god! What is this? So with that, I get to increase the rating of any one of these players by 5, man. This is ridiculous. I could go for Santiago Castro, but I don't think he needs it. I could use it on Alex Martin, but he's got 99 potential. He really doesn't need it. I think I'm going to use it on Macaulay Langstaff. He's 79 rated at 32 years old, and 84 rated Langstaff would be an absolute monster. And there we go. Langstaff is now 84 rated. Him and Castro up top this year are going to be an absolute menace face to the Premier League's defenders. And we've still got 51 million in the budget to spend on whoever we want, so let's go to the team to see where it needs improving. We just need a better cam and right winger. Other than those positions, the rest of this team is absolutely brilliant. And honestly, once we sort those positions out in particular, there's no reason why we can't get European football. And starting with the winger, I'm going for Everton's Jesarun Raksaki. I've definitely got that name wrong, but he's 80 overall at 26 years old. I reckon for the next 4 seasons, he could potentially turn into a monster. And I think we got a great deal as we only had to spend 22.5 million to bring him to Notts County. And for the cam role, I'm going for James McAtee from Manchester City, 80 rated at 26 years old. This guy was a beast for me in the Sheffield United video I made, and I hope he's going to be a beast for us now. And for 22 million on the dot, we have brought James McAtee to Notts County, and that officially wraps up our transfer window. And now the team looks like this heading into season 7, and I am bloody loving the looks of this team right now. There's not one single player under 80 rated in this team, man. It's taken us a while, but we got there in the end. And I'll be real, I'll be very surprised if we don't get European football this year, or at the very least a top 10 finish, because this team is definitely capable of getting it. So as you can see, we're at the beginning of June, the season's done, so let's hope that we've at least got a top 10 finish. Well, this hasn't gone to plan. We're 11th in the league at the end of season 7, 10 points behind 10th place Chelsea. I don't know what's gone wrong, boys, I'll be honest. We've got a really good team, we're just not performing well on the pitch. We did make it to the quarters of the FA Cup though, we're only getting knocked out by Nottingham Forest. And we made the Carabao Cup final before losing to United, man. This season's just owl after owl. I don't know where we're going wrong here. How is this team not even getting a top 10 finish? We've got a ridiculously strong squad. But once again, Castro is the top goal scorer with 30 goals and 2 assists in 49 games. Looking at these stats, I don't know where we've gone wrong. I mean, at the very least, I expected a top 10 finish, and we didn't even get that. And with that wheel being on our side 2 seasons running, we're bound to get something terrible next year, so I think we are in for a very rough season 8. And the overall stats at the end of season 7, Langstaff is still our top goal scorer and assistant, and we've still only got 2 trophies won so far. So we're now into season 8, we've only won 2 trophies so far, we haven't qualified for any European competition in ages, and I'm not happy about it. I don't get where this team's going wrong. Obviously there's weaknesses, but it's certainly strong enough to get European football. Maybe bringing a better centre-back in than Maturo's the answer, maybe a new cam or winger, I really don't know. What I do know is we've got 70 million in the budget, and hopefully that money will be enough to give us the players that we need to do better. But obviously we can't do anything with that money until we spin the takeover wheel. Now the last 2 times I spun this wheel, it's gone our way. Is it going to go our way again? Yes! What's cha-ching? Give yourself 100 million. Oh my god. That is absolute. If we don't do well this season with this on the transfer wheel, we have got absolutely no hope. We've now got 170 million to spend, boys. If we don't crack the top 4 of the Premier League with this, I don't know what will. So we're bringing in a better centre-back, a new cam, and also a right winger. If we have money left over after sorting those positions out, we'll revisit the team and see where we can further improve it. But I think sorting those 3 positions out this year is enough to get us Champions League football. Now, starting with the right winger, I'm going for Liverpool's Ben Doku, who's 24 years old, 83 rated. I know he's only 1 rating higher than our current winger, but he's much younger and got much more potential. And for 52.9 million, we've secured our first transfer of the 8th season in charge of Notts County. And for the centre-back role, I'm going for Jared Branthwaite, who's 84 rated. He will massively improve our back 3. And because he only had 12 months left on his contract, we got a bargain for him, only spending 35 million. And finally, for the cam role, I'm going for Wolfsburg's Matthias Franke, who's 26 years old and 85 rated. I've never heard of this guy before, but this guy is a beast. And for what I believe is a record signing of 54.9 million, we have secured him on a 4-year deal. And with those 3 additions, I'm telling you now, boys, we're doing much better this year. But this subs bench doesn't look up to scratch for my liking, so I think we've got a little bit more work to do. Now, we've got 12 million left in the budget, and obviously we can't bring in more players for that amount of money, so that does leave one option again. It's time to go back to the free agents list to see who we can sign. So I went on to sign Emiliano Martinez as a backup keeper, and I signed Bruno Betancourt as a backup striker. And so the starting 11 now looks like this, the subs bench looks like this. I think we are ready for season 8. And I'm just putting this out there, if we don't A, win a trophy, or at the very least get top 4 football this year, I don't know what else to do with this team. It is about damn time as well, we're finally qualified for the Champions League. I'm not gonna lie though, that's the very least of what we should be getting with the team we've got. And we got knocked out in round 5 of the FA Cup by by bloody Wolves. I mean, what is wrong with this team? How do Wolves beat this team, man? Please, somebody explain that one to me. Castro is once again the top goal scorer, 25 goals, 5 assists in 43 games. We haven't won any trophies this year, granted, but we're in the Champions League, and let's be real, we should have been in the competition last year. But I'm nervous about that wheel now. 3 times in a row it's been good to us in the Prem. 4th time lucky isn't something that normally happens. In the overall stats at the end of Season 8, Langstaff is still both our top goal scorer and assistant, and we still only won 2 trophies. We've got to win something at some point, haven't we? 4th time spinning this wheel. Is it going to be 4th time lucky? Oh my days, there's no way. 4th time lucky indeed. We're increasing another player's rating by 5, but what is going on with this wheel? Now it's just a question of whose overall I want to increase, man. There's so many options. It's down to 3 players though, starting with Yasin Ayari, our goalkeeper Stefan Bajic, and our centre-back Jared Branthwaite. But I'm going to go for Jared Branthwaite because I feel like an 89 rated centre-back in the Champions League will legit make all the difference. And there we go, boys. We've got at least one centre-back we don't have to worry about in the slightest. But we've got 166 in our budget this year, man. We've got to make the most of that money. Now, we have improved Branthwaite overall, but Carter Vickers is going to go down this year. He's 82 rated, and I think for the Champions League, it'll be a bit too much for him. And to be honest, a couple of new midfielders in place of Ayari and Travis wouldn't go amiss either. And as much as I hate to admit it, Langstaff might need to be replaced as well. He's 83 rated at 34 years old. I mean, that's all depending on if we've got the money left over to do this. And starting with the centre-back, I'm going for Giorgio Scalvini, who's 86 rated. This far into the career mode, I couldn't think of anybody better. And I think that's our most expensive signing yet, as we've just spent 60 million to bring him to Notts County. And for the first DM, I'm going for Caicedo from Wolves, who's 85 rated. And boys, this guy is going to be a monster for us. But boys, he only had 12 months left on his contract, meaning we got a very good deal, only spending 39 million on him. And finally, for the second DM, I'm going for Rafael Onyedika, who's 30 years old, 85 rated. I think him and Caicedo together are going to be a unit. And just like Caicedo, he only had 12 months left on his contract, so we only had to spend 37 million on him. And after renewing everybody's contracts, we've only got 7 mil in the budget, so that's our transfer window done. And the team looks like this heading into Season 9, and on my life, I am absolutely gassed with how good this team looks. I'm not even bothered that we still got Langstaff in the team, because let's be real, this guy's an absolute legend at this point. And believe me, I've got high expectations this year. I want us to win the Premier League, I want us to at least win the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, and I certainly want us to get quite far in the Champions League this year. And speaking of the Champions League, we're in Group G alongside Fiorentina, Real Sociedad and Shakhtar Donetsk. And like I've just said, boys, I want to get far in this competition. It's our first time in it, and I definitely don't want it to end in the group stage. So as you can see, boys, we're at the start of June. The season's done. I'm praying to God that we've done well again this year. We were so close, man. Second in the league, 6 points off Manchester United. I mean, what can you bloody do? We also lost to Manchester City on penalties in the Community Shield final. Yet again, another wasted opportunity of winning a bloody trophy. And we lost to Man City again on penalties in the FA Cup final. I am getting sick and tired of Manchester City. And we lose 3-2 to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final. That's the 3rd final we freaking lost in Season 9. I'm honestly at my wit's end with Notts County. I hope we've done well in the Champions League, man. My sanity is at stake at this point. That's a great start. We top Group G, undefeated, 2 wins, 4 draws. I mean, we should have won all of them realistically, but you know what? I'll take it. We just managed to get past Lyon in the round of 16. And we get past my bogey team at the minute, AC Milan, in the quarters. Boys, we may actually have done well in this. Nope, we get knocked out by Man City in the semi-final. 6-1 as well. That's embarrassing, humiliating. That's the 3rd competition they've knocked us out of this year. Boys, I really like it. I do. But this season, you've really done me nutting. And Langstaff at 35 years old is our top goal scorer. 33 goals, 2 assists, 63 games. Honestly, at this point, I'm not actually bothered. We still have got 2 trophies won, and it's Season 9 for God's sake. I don't know what more we need to do. We've spent close to 400 million in 2 seasons, and we haven't won a single thing. Are we literally Tottenham Hotspur in disguise right now? We've got one more season with Notts County to get a trophy. That's all I want. a trophy. I don't want to end this with 2 trophies. And the overall stats at the end of Season 9, believe it or not, Langstaff is still our top goal scorer and assister, and we've still only won 2 trophies so far. Pray for me in Season 10, will you? So we are now in our 10th and final season of this takeover, and as you can see, I've been a little bit bitchy with the coaching system. And when you look at this team, the fact that we've only won 2 trophies in 10 seasons so far is actually a disgrace. No matter what happens this season, no matter what the wheel gives us this year, we've got to go all out to at least win something. We've got an incredible sum of money as well, 210 million in the budget. So for the final time in this video, let's go over to that wheel and see what it's got in store for us. I swear to God, if we actually get lucky for the 5th time in a row, there's no max potential. What is this wheel? The ironic thing is, we've had everything good from the wheel, yet we still can't win anything with Notts County. So whose potential are we going to put at 99? Alex Martin had his put at 99 not too long ago, and he's already 96 overall, for God's sake. We could go for our keeper, Stefan Bajic. We could go for our winger, Ben Doak. Or we could go for Caicedo. I mean, anybody we put this on, it's going to be a W choice either way. I think I'm going to go with Caicedo because I don't think I'm going to put 210 million into the midfield. Now, looking at the team, I think we need a better keeper. We potentially need a better right winger, and honestly, that is about it. If you guys think I'm replacing Langstaff in the final season of this takeover, you must not know me at this point. This guy is staying until the bitter end. We're just going to put 210 mil into the keeper and right winger position, and I think I know exactly how we're going to do it. Firstly, I'm going for Juan Luigi Donnarumma, who's 33 years old, 90 rated. When Donnarumma is 33 years old in career mode, that's when you know you're far into it. And for only 33 million on the dot, we have got Donnarumma on a 3-year contract. And finally, for the winger role, Vinicius Jr., 32 years old, 94 overall. We can easily convert him to a right winger, but this is the man I want in the team. And for what is without doubt the most expensive side of this takeover, we have spent 145 million to bring Vinicius Jr. to Notts County. And with those 2 signings, the team now looks like they're heading into our final season of this takeover. And on God, if this team doesn't win a single trophy this year, I officially give up. We've now got 590 rated players or above in the starting 11. If this doesn't win us a single thing this year, I literally don't know what will. But we are in the Champions League alongside Bayern Munich, Osasuna, and SFR 1907 Cluj. But boys, this is our last season in charge of Notts County. I'm honest to God praying that we can make it count. Well, we've just reached the end of our 10th season in charge of Notts County, and we just couldn't win the Prem, man. We lost by 2 bleeding points. We made it to round 5 of the FA Cup before getting knocked out by West Ham. West Ham United beat us. But we finally won another trophy, man. We beat United 2-0 in the Carabao Cup final. We've got 3 trophies with Notts County. It's about bloody time as well. But the one we're all waiting for, the Champions League. Let's just pray to God we've done well. Well, we started off well by topping Group H. We even beat Bayern Munich to first place. We got past Dortmund in the round of 16, beating them 3-1. So that's already 2 German giants we've gotten past so far. And we also beat PSG in the quarter. Nah, I'm sorry. If we haven't won the Champions League this time, I'm going to go mental. We also beat Man City in the semi-finals 2-0. We'll play Napoli in the final. Honestly, I'm going to give up if we haven't won the Champions League this time. Finally, we've won the Champions League. It only took us 10 seasons, but we've done it. Thank God for that. On my life, I cannot believe it's taken us this long to do it. 10 seasons later, we won the Champions League with Notts County. I can finally rest. And the top goal scorer this year, Castro, with 41 goals and 2 assists in 60 games, man. What a signing this guy was. And we do end this takeover with Langstaff being our top goal scorer, Martin and Langstaff our joint top assister, and we've won a total of 4 trophies with Notts County. That just isn't impressive, is it? But that is the end of this takeover. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, though, you should click somewhere right here to watch another one of my videos.